Hello and welcome to Backstage Goss, the podcast where we dive into the entertainment world. Not just the red carpets and glitter, but the panic, the tears, the questionable career choices, and the what was I thinking moments too. We're talking to real people with real dreams, surviving the highs, the lows, and the occasional identity crisis along the way. So, grab your popcorn. This is going to be fun. Today we talk to Kailum Richardson, the boy from Newark who's made good. He's made very good across the pond. In LA he lives a Rockstar Lifestyle. What does that mean? Today we're going to find out.
Hey guys, I'm Kailum Richardson and I'm a dancer from Newark and I'm on Steve's podcast.
You're on Backstage Goss, that's what you are, mate.
Fuck! Backstage Goss.
Backstage
Your boy is
Goss.
On the Backstage Goss.
There it
Let's
is,
get it.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't tell you, I'm over the moon. I've watched you since you were a kid, haven't I?
Eight years old,
8
maybe,
years
I
old.
bet.
Because I remember
7 or 8.
coming round here, working on a film.
Yep.
You, Colby and Elliot,
Elliot.
weren't you? The three of you.
Yeah.
Can you remember it?
So long ago. It was we acted in it. That's what.
You also busted the moves.
And we danced at the end of it. I remember that. And I remember one of us landed on our neck outside.
Yeah.
And now look.
We had some good time. I mean, the thing with it, you know, this whole industry, this dance industry and everything else, you had a dream, didn't you?
Yeah.
Take us on that journey, you know, way back.
Okay.
You know, when you were little.
Well, obviously, it started at 8. I was 8 years old. I just remember watching Step Up. Love that movie. Stomp the Yard. All these movies that would come out. Britain's Got Talent with diversity. And that kind of initially started the want to dance. Obviously, at first, I didn't think it was cool. I was like, oh, I'm a boy. I'm dancing. Like, everyone assumes it's ballet. It's clearly not the route I wanted to go down. But yeah, watching diversity and stuff like that, that's what really got me going. And then, you know, it started off in the living room, just moving. I guess you wouldn't really say it was dancing. I just thought I would look cool doing what I was doing. Nothing really serious. And then I went to AJ's, Amy's school.
All right.
And that's what really got me going. That's when my routine was found. Like I would go every week, I'd be in every class possible, whether it be the hip hop classes or if it would be the gymnastics classes to work on the tricks. And then that would translate to, you know, family parties. I'd do all the school talent shows, win all the school talent shows.
It's funny you talking about that, because do you know what? Can you remember when you did Panto?
I do.
But we also had a talent show, yeah? And I found the, I think it was Robin Hood.
Right, I bet there's so many clips, isn't there?
There is of you guys, yeah. But you were only like little dinky dots, weren't you? You didn't have any growth spurts or anything.
We had nothing, we were tiny.
No, you were.
All three of us were.
But what was, I mean, looking at you now, I mean, you know, you got stardom out there. I mean, you're dancing on the big international stages with all the big celebs and all that. Way back then, what did you think as a child that you could achieve?
If I'm being honest, at the time, I didn't really think I could get to where I am now. I was unaware of that even being a career path. All I knew is that I loved to dance. I didn't know where that was going to take me. It wasn't until really I hit, 15, 16 when I was transitioning to go to college, where it was like, oh, it's actually a profession. And then that's when I would see, all these dancers that I'd be working alongside now. I'd be looking up at them and I'm like, oh, I want to do that one day. There's a guy called Cody Wiggins, really good friend of mine now. But at the time, being a kid, I was, unaware.
Right.
But he's in the movie Stomp the Yard. And as a kid growing up, that's one of the movies that made me want to dance. And it's like, you fast forward so many years later and you're in the rooms with these people and you're just mind blown by it. It doesn't seem real. And then it clocks. It's like, oh, all this time when I was younger and I'm looking at these things, that's the career that I didn't know that I wanted. Like, it's shaped to the career I have now.
Mental, isn't it?
So I think, like you say, when I'm younger, it's not really I want to go dance behind an artist. You just want to be what you're looking at, you know? But yeah, obviously I went to college and I trained there for 5 years.
Where did you go?
I went to Addict Dance Academy in
Oh,
Leicester.
right. How did that work out?
It's funny because I was, when I was younger, I feel like I was quite a timid lad, especially when it come to all the dance stuff. Like I'm kind of the same now, if I'm being honest. Like I don't like to try new things if I'm on my own. And it was the same with that. It was like my cousin, he was going to go to a random college to study dance, but it wasn't a professional dance college. And someone that trained me, his name was Tywell, from Nottingham. He mentioned that his friend taught at a professional dance college. Yeah. And his missus got in touch with my mum and was like, oh, why don't Kailum try this college? It's really good, especially if he wants to pursue it professionally. This should be the route he should take. So we're looking into it. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll just go where my cousin's going for the comfortability. You know,
right?
It's just easier. It's not as much stress on me. And my mum was like, well, maybe we should have a look. And then I managed to convince my cousin to come with me. Funny enough, my mum got a parking ticket taking us to the audition. I remember that clear as day. And we get there, and at the time, it's, you know, what I was thinking when I was younger. I'm a boy. Boys don't dance. I get there, and me and my cousin were the only two straight boys at the college that are auditioning. Yeah. And it's like, well, this is really shaping what I thought when I was younger.
Yeah, right.
And it's just girls and me and my cousin. And it's like, oh, am I really going to do this? And I remember doing the audition. I walked into the ballet round and I walked in some Timberland boots. Didn't know I was supposed to take my shoes off.
Oh, no.
Stood at the bar, ready to go. And the principal, he was like, okay, I think you should, take your boots off. And I was like, why? He was like, well, it's ballet. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing them all in the tights and I'm in my baggies. I'm going, oh, here we go. Take them off and then, do the audition. And I feel like I killed the audition. And
Wait. You actually killed the audition?
Yeah.
Even though you were
dressed
as you were? Oh, my gosh, man.
And to be honest, it exposed me what, ballet could have been a potential thing, because my point, I had a perfect ballet point before I'd even had any training.
Are you serious?
My arch in my foot's like crisp. So if anything, it's fate. It felt like I should have gone there, and obviously, turn around I did, and spent 5 years there and created all the best memories possible. Trained really hard in every style.
Wow.
Ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, contemporary.
Well, let's just hold it there, because, what I find interesting about the dance world is, like you say, there is such a plethora of different styles.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know what you wanted to do? Or was it a case that you just went, do you know what? I'm going to do them all?
I think it was, before I even went to the college, again, I didn't want to do ballet because, it has the stereotype against it, and being a young kid, it's, it's gay, it's this, and obviously as a straight male, I just didn't, at the time, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
It was just classed as girly. And again, as a young kid, you don't want to be doing girly stuff when you're a lad. So it was more so the hip hop, again, looking at all the movies I used to watch. I knew that was the style I wanted to do. And obviously when I got to the college and they told me, no, it's every style, that's what actually was like, okay, maybe I don't go to the college because I just want to do what I do.
Right.
And then obviously in hindsight, I needed all these other styles to become who I am today, because I implement them in every room I walk into the industry as it is.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've learned things from each style that I apply to my own today,
Yeah.
Whether it be the core from ballet. When I'm on stage, my core's constantly engaged no matter what. Whether it be fitness as well. With all jazz, with all the leaps and stuff, it requires muscle memory. And I implement that into my gym life. It's, everything comes in together. Tap comes in with the footwork. A lot of the jobs, it's quick footwork.
Right.
The taps help with that. Rhythms.
Yeah.
It makes the job easier.
Yeah.
And it's not just, going into a room and I'm picking some steps up. It's, okay, let me think. I remember all the rhythms I would learn in tap, and I'm noticing them be so similar in these other rooms. It becomes easier, and then you've got other people that aren't trained in that are struggling. Whereas it's second nature to me because I've had 5 years of the style.
Right.
You know, that's how I've kind of combined them all together.
So, I mean, when you're, in those studios and you're dancing and everything else, I mean, what was actually going through your mind? I know you're there to train and to learn, but what visions did you have?
Well, during college, if I'm being honest, the first year, I kind of wish I took it a bit more seriously. Again, it was in my head, I'm at college, and I didn't realise how much college would impact me once I was in the industry.
Oh, wow.
And luckily enough, I kind of grasped onto that quick. I realised who I was in the room with, whether it be my teachers at the college, and I found the connection very quick that these were the people that would hire me once I would leave. Whereas a lot of people didn't do that, and, people would be like, oh, still in school.
Right.
And I took the approach of, again, it's not advised, but it's like I made friends with the teachers. Because what I noticed, and it applies still today in the industry, people want to hire their friends. People want to have a good time.
Who you know, innit?
Yeah, it's who you know.
Yeah.
No one, if you're looked at as a student, they're always going to look at you as like, oh, he's not ready. He's got more to learn. So from day one, obviously, again, give or take the first year, from that point on, because I picked it up quicker than everybody else, I was like, okay, these people are actually going to help me. So let me listen to everything they've got to say to me.
Yeah.
And let me apply it quicker than everybody else. And then be, the cheeky chap I am, and then make them like me even more. Next thing you know, genuine friendships were built.
Yeah.
And, it's carried on throughout my industry.
You did have a cheekiness about you, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm
not serious at all.
No, but I put that down to, when you were young, because of your size.
Right.
And for me, it was like, I used to look at you, doing your stuff and everything else, and you'd just be full of joy and everything else, and you'd think, oh, what a lovely guy, what I mean? Do you know what? He's working his socks off.
Yeah, which, I won't lie, at times it can be a weakness, because people took that as a weakness, my kindness.
Oh.
Still do today. But obviously, as you know, when I was younger, I was bullied.
Yeah, right.
I was bullied in every sense of the word. And that's just because I was different to everyone else. I was pursuing a career that isn't normal in a town like Newark. Right? It's not normal. People will look at me crazy. I've got people in my DMs today from Newark that I've not spoke to since I was younger. Oh, you're really killing it. But these are some of the kids that probably bullied me back in the day.
Yeah.
It's like at the time people don't realise what it is and what this, especially the industry I'm in, it's the Rockstar Lifestyle. But when you're young, you just don't look at it like that.
Well, before we get to that Rockstar Lifestyle,
we'll
definitely rocking it. I know.
We'll get on to that.
Yeah.
About that.
Let's just talk about this bullying, all right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it obviously affected you, didn't it?
Massively. Yeah, it affected me massively. I think that was the toughest part about it, was a constant thought in my head. So no matter what I did, I would think back to that. I would question what I was doing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it probably held me back. All of that. I kind of put all my energy into being bullied, and it just affected everything else around me. But then at the same time, it was a driving factor.
Yeah. So am I right? Because back home, you had a studio out the back or something, didn't you? What did you
yes. So my dad and my uncle built me a dance studio in my back garden.
Yeah.
That was the escape. As soon as I'd get into the garden, that's where all the magic could happen.
It's crazy.
It's amazing.
So was it a case that you get bullied at school, you'd come home, you'd probably be feeling down?
Dance, I know it sounds cringy, but that's because dance, it's an outlet as well.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it as well, because it was a way for me to force the bad energy out of me. It's the release. But yeah, I remember I'd be coming home from school, there'd be kids waiting for me to beat me up outside the gate. My mum and dad would watch me get beat up because there's nothing they can do. And you know what I mean? And then they do what they can, but it's like when it's a bunch of kids, my best friend at the time, he used to stick up for me like crazy. He was always there for me. But there was a time my dad even picked me up from school because I was being bullied that hard in a lesson and the teachers wouldn't do anything.
Right.
And I remember he said to the headmaster, he was like, he ain't coming back. Yeah, and it dragged me out of school and I never went back. And I went to a new school. The bully followed me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he went to the school I then moved to. And it all started all over again. And then obviously, you graduate school and then you go to college and then it's a whole different ball game, and that's left in the past because obviously, like I said, I moved out of my hometown, moved to Leicester at 16 and escaped it all. Yeah, it was definitely a hard time.
But looking back, I mean, what would you say to a kid that wants to do exactly the same as you?
Yeah.
Wants to pursue this career, but is having his ass kicked every day? What would you say to him?
There's two things I'd probably say. The first thing is it's going to get better. It'll get easier. You know what I mean? It all gets better in the end. Everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
If anything, that's a compliment to you. It shows you that you're doing something better than your life, than they are. Shows you you're further ahead than they will ever be. But then also it's like, use that as your motivation, as and use it to toughen your skin up, because again, you get into this industry and it is like it's bullies. And that's what I'm noticing more, especially because I feel like I've conquered the industry in the UK, and obviously we'll talk about it later. Obviously I'm in America now, but it's all the same. It's just higher ups bullying down, and it's like a food chain.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I was just at the bottom of the food chain, and eventually you grow and it cycles over, you empower what's bullying you. But it's the same when you get older. So I think just carry that through the rest of your life. It's like you can learn things from that. Even though it sucks, you can still learn things from it.
Yeah. All right, so from college, you're there and you're pounding, studios every day and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just take us through what it's like to be in a college, a dance college.
So you wake up at 8 a.m. You're at college for 8:30. You start off with ballet. You're in there for an hour and a half. You get a 15-minute break. You start jazz for an hour and a half. You go on lunch for an hour. You go into tap class for an hour and a half. You get a 15-minute break. You're into another class. You'll have maybe a 20-minute break, a free period where the other people are in a lesson. You jump into the 5th class of the day. You finish by 7, 8 o'clock.
Wow.
And that's 5 days a week, every day. It's intense on the body.
Right.
For sure.
So what was your downtime then? What did you do with your
weekends?
Yeah. What did you do?
There was no that was dance at the weekends. It was. But I feel like to be successful at anything, you've got to be delusional. You've got to be obsessed with what you love. Like, obsessed with what you love doing, if that makes sense. You have to be deranged to the point where you think anything is possible. You've got to be obsessed.
So it's self-belief, isn't it?
100%, yeah. And I think I know that's what I am, and I still am today. It's you've got to keep that up. And again, like I was saying before, people look at college sometimes, it's school and you mess about, whereas for me it was go time. As soon as I figured it out, every lesson I was purposely working on something new that other people probably wasn't. Right. I was constantly thinking, okay, how can I get better at this? How can I apply this to that? It was like mathematics in my head. It's very calculated.
Wow.
The way I use college.
Yeah.
And we're building the connections within the college, which most people didn't do. I was mathematic about that as well. I knew that this was going to get me here. I knew that was going to help me get here. This person was going to take me this place. This person was going to connect to this person.
Yeah.
It's puzzles.
So within your college that you attended, all your lecturers were industry standards? Yes. Really?
And a lot of them was in the industry, which I then found I wanted to do, which was dance for artists. So especially in those classes, and I learned quick, people talk. Word of mouth spreads rapid. So even in college, it was the same in the industry, same in the America. It's everywhere. Like a friend speaking to a friend. Oh yeah, he's a good dude. Boom, I'm on a job. Or, oh, I'm in college, I'm in ballet. Ballet teachers, they're all having the meetings at lunch. They're talking about the students. Oh yeah, he's really good in this class. Oh, I think he'd be good at your stuff. Fast forward 5 months, I'm on a job with that person, and I'm still in college. You know, that's how it works.
And that happened.
Oh, multiple times. I was working within my. Well, I went into acting in my first year of college, and I landed a role on ITV, Brief Encounters, which was a lead role. And that was in my first year. And then I decided I wanted to focus fully on dance because I felt like I was getting distracted. And once I cut that, the second year of college, I booked my first job. Yeah.
Can you remember it?
Yes. My first job also ruined my career in the UK to start with.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Holy shit, how?
It was the Brit Awards. And funny story, actually, the choreographer of the job actually worked at the college at the time. Again, this is something you wouldn't expect. There was a tap teacher. You wouldn't think she'd be doing these kind of jobs, but ended up happening. I got on the job, and she ended up getting fired from the college because of it, because obviously my career, I basically got blacklisted.
Wow.
I went wrong on stage, completely wrong. I was at the front, first job, and at the time I was 16, I thought I was indestructible. I'd worked so hard, you know, I could go into a dance class, pick the steps up within seconds while everyone else is taking hours to get it. I was like, I'm on the top of the world. Get on the stage and I go completely wrong. Flame it. It was the worst. I was going wrong from the first second I stepped on stage, and it just kept going down and down and down.
I don't mean to beat them up right to cause you any PTSD or traumatic stress, but let's go through it.
This one actually, it really mentally scarred me in the dance world though as well.
Man.
So this is why I think this will be good as well, because
Yeah.
you know, I got through it. But just to quickly get through it, I remember going wrong and she got fired because all the dancers already knew the steps.
Yeah.
I learned it in the tunnel just before I went on. Everyone else had a rehearsal but me.
Why? How?
I really don't know. Again, this is the industry. Curveballs, you know, you see people, oh, he's a student, this will be good learning curve maybe.
Wow.
Oh, he's good at picking up the choreography because all the teachers knew that. They knew I could quick, pick things up like that. And obviously I get on, and I remember before I went on, she was like, oh, you're at the front, don't go wrong.
No pressure.
No pressure. Whole time I'm thinking, don't go wrong, don't go wrong. That's what made me go wrong. I'm crashing, and every agency in the UK was there watching. Everyone was like, oh, who's this new kid? Who's this 16-year-old boy? And yeah, flamed. And I remember I'd then reach out to these agents and they would hold it against me. Oh, you're not ready. You go wrong on jobs. Months would go by. Oh, you're not ready. They would put me to the final round to just then tell me I'm not ready because of this job. And then I remember Move It. This was like an event that would happen with the colleges.
Yeah.
I got the lead role in Addict's Move It piece, and the choreographer was Ricky Jinks. And leading up to this, obviously my mental had been completely destroyed because it was like I'd worked so hard to be in a career.
Right.
And I finally got there quickly.
Yeah.
And it was over before I even knew it. And I just remember Ricky even telling me, he was like, you've got to forget the past, you've got to move on. You're a human being. People make mistakes. And it's the same in the industry. People make mistakes. You're not superhuman. But at the time, I thought I was.
Yeah.
And this piece came round, and again, I was leading. It was the first time I didn't make a mistake since, because I noticed after that one mistake, just mistakes after mistakes, I fell out of my routine with dance. It was like, again, I could pick things up, but then that left me because I was constantly in my head, oh, I can't go wrong. I'm meeting the biggest choreographers in the world. As soon as I've gone wrong, Brian Freeman, he would tell me on the mic in front of thousands, don't go wrong, Kailum. And I would go wrong, and he'd kick me out the group, and this is all adding up. And I'm like, oh my God, it just gets worse and worse. And then I did this Move It piece, and that's what built my confidence back up. And it was a musical, Dear Evan Hansen, Waving Through the Window.
Yeah.
One of my favourite musicals, to be honest, one of the early musicals I've ever watched. I know it's quite bad to say, but it's the only one I've ever watched. But obviously that was a piece that got me through all of the stress with that job. Yeah. And, you know, there's other things like with my family that resonates with as well. So yeah, this meant a lot to me. And then every year I would come back with that piece. They would do sequels of it. And I'd be the lead every year. And by the time the last one, it was my final year in college.
Got you.
I'd managed to get back onto in the industry. It was maybe, I didn't work for maybe a year and a half after.
Oh, really?
And then I got finally back onto a job and I did The Voice.
Yeah.
And then from then my career just worked with Brian Freeman, did a movie for him, and it just kept going up and up from there.
Oh my gosh, that's mental. I can't believe that they're actually saying before you started to dance, don't fuck up.
It's all mind games, yeah.
Yeah, completely.
And again, and I'll stick by this, even at the point of my career I'm in now, you're still having them mind games thrown at you.
Wow.
Whether it be last minute changes or, obviously we'll get into it as well, but like on a recent tour I did, there was somebody late to rehearsal, and then I had to then learn his track there and then perform it to the artist in 10 minutes time. So then I have all that trauma from the first job come back to me, and the choreographer saying, don't go wrong because the artist is here. So there's pressure, but I'd learnt from this. Some people will crumble again.
Yeah.
Whereas this is where, you know, you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
It's like I learnt then, so now my mind is stronger and I can, you know, get through them moments. But
Well, let's not go any further at the moment because we're on this. Let's get this out of the way, done and dusted. I mean, what is your coping mechanism then?
It's funny, I pretend a lot of the time. Because don't get me wrong, it's normal. I do still think about it, you know, and it's there's nothing more embarrassing, especially at this point, going wrong on stage, you know. So it's like, it still is there, but I think it's like I still get nervous as well when I'm just about to go on stage, and I've been doing it for years.
But that's good, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it means you're still excited about it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's probably a different kind of nerve, but yeah, I guess, I mean, I pretend, but also I believe in myself more now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And I know who I am now.
Right.
And like you say, all these years through college, they were the years of building, you know, toughening the skin up and really figuring out who I am as a brand and who I am as a person. And I think that's how I cope with it now. It's because I 100% know who I am, without a doubt.
It's interesting you say it because it's people would be going, oh, that's really cliche. Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's the truth. Yeah, no, it's the truth. And as cringy as it sounds as well, it's the truth. Especially in the dance industry, if you don't know who you are, you'll crumble.
Now, just explain to us then, right? You just like, you know, who you are, right?
Yeah.
What does that actually mean?
I mean, the best way, I'm a rock star. That's the best way I can word it. Like, I know as soon as I walk onto a stage, and it's bad, but I think the whole crowd's there for me.
Mary Jane.
Yeah,
hang on, baby.
Yeah, no, it's me. Yeah. And that's why I want people to hire me though as well, because I want them to know that that's what they're about to get.
Yeah.
Like I've done a load of jobs where, you know, I blend but that's why my career in the UK wasn't as good as my American one is, because people here don't like that I don't blend.
Strange, isn't it?
It's very strange. You're told to be a robot and a copy here, whereas in America they want superstars. They want people that are on the level of the artist. Here, you've got to be a backing dancer, and that's the difference.
So you don't overshadow.
Shadow. Whereas over there, they want someone that's going to light up the stage just as much as the star.
Yeah, amazing.
And that's why I moved.
Yeah, I mean, I love the American way. Mm-hmm. I do. You know,
it's a different way. Yeah.
Oh, completely. You know, if they want to give you some information, they'll give it to you. You know, freely, gladly. You know, not an issue. Over here, I ain't telling you. You want to find it? You find it yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to help no one.
No. So that's well cool. So when did you actually leave UK then?
I left July 5th, 2023.
Ooh, that's implanted, isn't it?
Oh, I remember it like back then. I'll never forget it.
Yeah. How did you feel on that day?
Leading up to the day, because obviously I'd done my visa and I'd known 3 months prior, I was like, I got approved for my visa, and obviously I was over the moon. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then it went back to normal. I was like, oh, well, I'm going. And then, as the days it gets closer, I think it sinks in that I'm about to leave my mum and dad and my brother. And
Right.
I think that was the hardest part. That's the only thing I miss, if I'm being honest, is my family.
Right.
And I think that's what people don't realise, moving away, especially in this career, does to you. It's like you've got to sacrifice a lot. And I sacrifice my friends and my family.
Yeah.
To not be stuck in one place. This industry cycles again, like I was saying, with the bullying stuff. Everything in life's a cycle,
right?
And it always comes back around. Like even your clothes you wear, like back then they come back. It's like with the jobs, the cycle. You do the same thing over and over again. And for me, I can't live in the cycle. I want to break the cycle. I want to start a new one and keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that's what that was. It was me breaking the cycle, and it's like breaking what I'm used to. And again, like I said earlier, I don't like to do things on my own. It's, I'm quite timid when it comes to that stuff. I'd rather feel comfortable.
Right.
And this was the first time I got to really break out of comfort altogether, because I moved on my own.
So let me just ask you, how did you get from UK to USA? What happened? Why?
Why?
Yeah, why? How did it happen?
I visited LA when I was in college.
Oh, right.
So this is after my first year of college. During the training, you said, what do I do on the weekends? What do you do after?
Yeah.
As soon as the summer holiday would come, everyone would go home to the families, whereas the next day I'd hop on a plane and go to America. I'd visit LA.
Oh, my God.
And I was 18 when I first went to LA, 17, 18. And I went for 6 weeks.
So, did you have anybody to go to, or how did it work?
No, it was funny. My gran, my mum who's passed away, she paid for my trip because she knew that's where I wanted to be. And she's like, if you got a dream, Kay, you go do it. It's like, because it's clearly not here. She's like, you go do what you got to do. And I remember I went, spent 6 weeks there, and it just changed my perspective altogether. It was growing up, I was looking at the Chris Browns, the Michael Jackson. It's like, I want to do that. I want to be the best of the best. And being in the UK, that's not possible. So I went to America and I trained in all these classes, all the Chris Brown dancers, I'd be in their classes. I would train with Michael Jackson's choreographer. I would be around the people that are around these people. And, I made friends and came home. The next year I'd go back every summer, but I'd extend my trip every time. First was 6 weeks. Then I went for 2 months. Then I went for 3 months. Then, COVID hit. I wanted to move in 2020. COVID hit and it all got put on a hold, put me back 3 years, fast forward to 2023, and then I finally moved.
Wow.
But I knew from that first trip, that's where I wanted to be. I went on a hike, I looked at the view and I said, it's
crazy, isn't it?
This is where it's all going to happen.
Yeah.
It's the dream, Hollywood, it's where stars are made. And I believe it.
Did you stop and look out, like you say, that view, and then close your eyes and just take it in?
You manifest it, yeah.
Oh.
As soon as I was up there, I said, oh my... But that was the moment I knew I was going to move. I was 17, I knew I was going to live there. Crazy. I said, I was on top of Runyon Canyon hike, and I'm looking out, I said, I got myself a padlock, and I wrote a message on it, and I stuck it on the gate. I said, I'm going to be back here. Every year I'd get a new padlock, I'd put it on the gate. My old one would still be there. It's still there till this day. All 4 of them, they're on the same lock.
Amazing.
And I dated them all. And then on my last trip, was 2019, I writ in a book on the Wisdom Tree hike. And I writ, I'm going to be in LA sooner than I think. I'm going to leave the book here. I'll come back for it.
Oh, wow.
Fast forward and I'm there.
Isn't it crazy self-belief? You've
got to believe. You've got to believe. I thought it's delusional. Because you just don't think it's possible.
Right. Especially,
again, it's dance. When you say a dancer, you think income. What are you going to earn money through dance? And again, you can earn all right money in the UK, but when you get into America, it's different money.
Look at that smile. He smiled.
Love it.
He just goes...
I love it. It's different money. But and then all these the American industry, they think they're not getting paid much. But to me, I've come from this to that. Oh, I've made it.
Wow.
It's different, and then I think that's when the realization kicks in that this is actually something that you can, make a living off, and
yeah.
Especially if you're smart with your money as well.
Well, it's not cheap to live there, is it? Now?
No,
it's definitely not cheap. I mean, over the 30-odd years that I've been going backwards and forwards, it's just gone through the roof. It's gone mental.
For toilet paper, it's rent.
Yeah, your backside. No, you can't have none this week.
Yeah, can't afford it.
Feed ourselves.
$40 a fucking roll. What? $40.
That's LA, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
fuels, God knows what, but yeah.
All right, let's get into your first job. Where and how did that first job come?
In America.
In America now. Yeah. Stateside.
So I got there July 5th, and it's crazy because a lot of people think I worked straight away. When it don't work like that. They forget about your career in the UK. They don't care because you're on their turf now.
All right.
So you got to prove to them why should you take their job?
Ooh.
So I would train again, be in all the classes, and I didn't hit my first job maybe 4 months after I'd moved there. So obviously I was living off savings.
Yeah.
Living on surfing. My first job was a music video for Offset. And the choreographer, Cody Wiggins, really good friend of mine, spoke about him earlier.
Yeah.
See how it stomped me.
I know, it's mental, isn't it?
Connects, and it ended up being my first job. Me and 3 lads, 4 of us, and did a music video. It was Michael Jackson themed. It was based off a Thriller. Again, all the costume was from Michael and from the wardrobe of Thriller, the actual pieces. And yeah, that it was quick. It was overnight. I got a phone call. Randomly said, "Kay, you available tonight?" I said, "What for?" He went, "Offset wants you to come to a studio with us and learn these steps. We're going to shoot a video tomorrow." I said, "Okay." And obviously, I've been signed with an agent, and usually agencies take your commission. And he said to me, he's like, "Look, bro, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep all the money and just go direct through you, or would you want to give your agent a cut?" And again, business-minded, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give my agency a cut. I've just got here. Fast forward, as soon as this job finished, I got sent a Dolby commercial through my agent. And I believe that's through good faith of,
nice.
Looking out for them.
You're not screwing anyone, are you?
No, I'm not screwing no one. And I ended up getting a Dolby commercial, which brought me a big chunk of money in, because that ended up being a 3-part commercial. So I got 3 commercials for the price of one. One of them was featuring J-Lo.
Oh.
And that got usage for the whole time I've been in LA, 3 years. So I'm getting residual checks from that still.
Of course you are.
Then the Dolby movie theatre commercial, that was one. And then there was one for a pair of headphones, the Dolby headphones. So it was a 3-part, and that all just came from that first job. So that was 4 months without no work. I did Offset. It was... I did Offset in October. Then the commercials happened in November. And then December, I went to my first ever audition in LA. And it was for a tour. It was for Daddy Yankee. And it was his retirement tour. It was his farewell tour in Puerto Rico. I went to the audition, bearing in mind it's my first audition. I'm new in LA. I was the only one to book it from the audition. Only person. Everyone else had already been booked onto the job months prior.
My mouth is open, my jaw's on the table. It's like, really?
Yeah, only person. And I was the only white person as well. And then obviously in the industry, a lot of the artists I like to dance for are artists of culture. So whether it be Latino, Black.
Yeah.
And I've just ended up in them spaces a lot of the time, which is great because that's what I wanted. Because I don't want to fit in to the norm. I want to be the anomaly. I want to, stand out and it fit with my brand and where I want my career to go. That fit in with that. But I did that tour, and that choreographer I'd actually seen within that 4 or 5 month span. I'd been going to his classes every other week. And every week I would notice he would put me from dancing with a lot of people to less people to solos to giving me scholarships at camps.
Serious?
So I was noticing my relationship form with him, and then cheeky chap himself, I then just started talking to him because a lot of people are scared to talk to choreographers.
Yeah.
Because of the hierarchy, whereas I don't care. I'll talk to a wall about God knows what, So I went up and spoke to him, had a genuine conversation with him, and then went to this audition, and like I said, I was the only one that got it.
Man.
And that was for the whole of December, January. Then I came home. That was my first 6 months.
Crazy, isn't it? So let me just touch on this. You've gone out to LA.
Yeah.
One thing. Did you have an agent to go to, or did you get your agent when
Yes. So I worked with 2 American choreographers in the UK, Calvin and Sarah, and they're Camila Cabello's choreographers. So I worked for Camila one time. I did the concert for Ukraine with her, and I was one of 2 boys that was from the UK. The rest was American dancers.
Amazing.
And obviously I spoke with the choreographers and I said, look, my dream's to move to LA. And he was like, oh, well, we'll sign your visa.
No way, just like that?
Just like that. It was like, the reason we've hired you is because, one, we don't really hire just anyone, but it's like we only hire the people we think as stars. And he was like, and for you, we think everyone will love you, so we'll be happy to sign your papers.
Wow.
And what that consists of is a deal memo where they basically say, we can provide work for 3 years of your stay, da-da-da-da-da. And at the time, these, and still are, very busy choreographers. So they signed, and obviously through them, I got the agent they work for.
Right.
Signed the papers, and then when I got to America, I just went and met them. And
that was it.
And that was that, yeah.
What do people going into the industry have to be careful of, though? With agents and everything else?
The contracts, really. You got to know what you're signing yourself, because you're signing yourself away for things.
So did you get yourself a lawyer, or who read through the contract?
No, I actually read through. I'm really good with contracts. I made sure when I was at college.
Right.
And obviously, with being in the UK industry, we needed contracts anyway. But as a dancer, I just made sure I would always read the small prints. I would always make sure I'm getting my rights. Sometimes I would demand rights that aren't even in the contract.
Hey, good for you.
And negotiate my own stuff.
Like what? What would you demand?
More pay.
No,
I'd be on higher rates than some people, or I would demand that we have physio for our bodies if it's on long duration jobs and things like that they tend to leave out of contracts. But they don't think it's important.
Right. But you'd think, wouldn't you? You're dancers, you're sports athletes.
Yeah, our bodies are the most important thing. That's how we make our money, and we're not going to get simple physio.
Yeah, crazy. Isn't it?
That's a right. We should have that.
Yeah. No, good for you.
So I'm just really good with contracts, and I made sure I did my homework on it all. And
so that's something that they need to take away from this, isn't it?
Yes, 100%.
Them contracts, read.
Go out the way to read and it's a lot of pages, but you've got to. You read it once, you can then skim through it, but then you see your red flags as you're going through it,
Right.
So definitely something to take away for sure.
So you got yourself into the industry, you got yourself an agent, yeah?
Yep.
Things are looking good.
Yep.
When did we really start to move?
To be honest, as soon as I did that first tour, because I was the newbie, and every other dancer on that tour were veterans or were dancers that are very, very respected within the industry and have danced for the biggest names you can imagine. And I was the only one that everyone was like, wait, who's that? And again, because I'm a white boy, I stick out like a sore thumb. I stick out because no one's white.
Yeah, right.
And it's just the truth. And I could probably name five white dancers in time that have done the biggest of the biggest jobs.
Wow.
So I'm already in a small pool of people. And I would definitely say it was Daddy Yankee where it started, because I remember as soon as I did Daddy Yankee, I think I came off of that and then I went straight into... Since I've been in America, I've just been on tours. I've been back-to-back tours.
Really?
So I did Daddy Yankee, and then from the first job music video, brought me Offset's tour.
Right.
So I did Daddy Yankee's tour, into Offset's tour, into Peso Pluma. He's the #1 Latino Mexican artist
Right, yeah.
in the world. He's actually on tour now as well. So I did that. So that's 3. Then I went on to Mary J. Blige, which there's a funny story on that as well.
Tell us that now before you go any further.
Okay, Mary J. Blige. I remember I got the casting email through, and the choreographer obviously reached out to who he wanted to go. It was an open call audition. It was for black dancers only. And again, I'm really good friends with the choreographer. I messaged him and I was like, hey mate, I know it says black dancers. Clearly I'm not black. I said, any point to come in. I was transparent. I said, do I waste my time? And it was like, mate, you never know. He said, come through. And he said, I've also not seen you in a while, so I would love to see you dance. And that's another thing with this industry. You've always got to stay in the eye.
Right.
You can't disappear and stay disappeared. You've got to, you've got to come back. You're on tour for 6 months. You've got to be straight back in these classes, on social media, in front of the eye all the time.
Yeah.
It's constant. I said, yeah, is any point me coming? He goes, yeah, come through. So I go to the audition. Only white person in there. Only one. You would think there'd be someone. Nope, just me. And I'm looking around. I went, well, this, I already know this is ended. First round, I get cut, snipped. I was like, great. Go home, carry on with my life. I go home for Christmas. This was around a Christmas period because I finished the Peso Pluma tour in November. It's my 3rd tour. I went home after the audition because December's quite quiet. Another thing with this industry, it gets quiet very quick.
Yeah.
Up and down. So I go home and I'm telling my mum about it, and she's like, oh, well, you already knew. You know what I mean? It's not like you had a chance anyway. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Go back and I get a phone call off the choreographer. He goes, Kay, you in town? I went, yeah, I just got back yesterday. I was like, you want to go for some food? He went, oh, I can't, mate. I'm in rehearsals. He went, are you free today? I went, yeah. Well, I was like, yeah, why? He was like, we need you in rehearsals. I said, what for? He said, look, I'm not promising you anything. He was like, but, you know, 2 of the dances aren't quite, you know, there. And I just want you to come in to, like, give them a boot up the arse, like, you know, to get them going.
Right.
And I get there and there's another lad who's another good friend of mine. He's not on the job as well. And we're both looking at each other. We're like, why are we here? We're doing it. Day 1 goes by. Choreographer calls back. Can you come back in? We go back and the creative director's there. Now, the tour starts in 5 days and I'm still not booked on this job.
Oh.
I'm just there. They're doing their thing. The creative director come up to me and she said, I want to tell you, you are undeniable. I said, oh, thank you. And she's like, yeah, you're coming back tomorrow, the day after. She said, you're being on this tour. I said, but the tour starts in 6 days or 5 days or whatever. And she was like, yeah, we know. So I had to learn a 27-number tour in 5 days. And me and that lad took the places of these 2 guys.
Oh, they?
And here's me, I got cut first round. Didn't want... And it's funny because Mary was watching a video and she said to the choreographer, she went, what's that? She's like, who's that? And he was like, that's Kailum. He's like, trust me. Fast forward, Mary loves me.
Bless her.
She's a sweetheart.
Mary, we love you too.
We love
there
you,
we
Mary
go.
J. Blige. Yes, we do. But ended up loving me. And it was like, at first the vision was black. They wanted a black cast. But it's like sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to, you know. I weren't supposed to book it there and then it, you know, all it takes is for me to be in a room and it's like, oh, we made a mistake. And that's okay. People make mistakes. Yeah. You know?
Thankfully. Yeah.
Give me the money.
Let me see the money. Because, I mean, like you say, I mean, America is, in my mind, still, you know, you earn good. You know, you work hard. You know, you're gonna reap those benefits.
Yes, for sure.
What's been the biggest benefit for you?
Well, like I said, because there's so much, and because I've done it in such a short space of time, you know. I mean, if it weren't for me working, I wouldn't have been able to pay my mum and dad's mortgage off. That was one of my biggest goals in life, and I managed to do that in 2 years.
You are a diamond. Well done, man.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the UK, it was just never possible.
Right.
But because I was on back-to-back tours, I thought, let me just be smart with my money and not be like, again, back to when I was in college, let me not be like everyone else and throw my money away.
Yeah.
You know, I put my money in the right places and, you know, I've invested it in places and the things I have bought are investments rather than flashy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, some things are flashy, don't get me wrong, like I bought cars and
What did you get?
I bought a Camaro.
Did you?
Bumblebee, yeah.
Love it.
You know, I bought a watch, but it's an investment.
Yeah, right. What did you get?
Rolex.
You did get it? You got a Rolex? Oh, it's on the wrist.
And then, obviously my mum and dad's mortgage, that's the biggest thing. But
bless you.
Obviously next I want to buy a house. That's the goal next.
Out there.
Well, this thing, I'd like here and there, but it's just because I don't have the money here anymore, I don't think they'll allow me to, get a mortgage here now. I'll have to put more money down. Which I guess
you need to have a look, man.
Unless there is a way, but
there's always a way, isn't there?
But I'll probably do both.
But how's it going to work in America? I mean, you're right. You got your visas there, and you're going backwards and forwards and everything. How long are you allowed to stay for?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years at a time. So the reason I'm home now is I'm renewing my visa.
Right.
For my second visa. But yeah, it's like I say, it's doable. I've just got to figure out, the motion of it all, I guess.
Right. Before we leave and wrap up, horror stories. Horror stories.
Okay.
What's gone really badly wrong?
It's not even recent. It was in the UK. I did Jingle Bell Ball and I fell down a trapdoor mid-set. Landed on the DJ desk that was being set up, 6 foot drop. Had to jump up. I jumped back up and into the choreography in an 8 count. Superstar. But yeah, God, that hurt. And that was at the start of the 40-minute set. It was for Anne-Marie. And then fast forward a week, she then went and broke her ankle on an award show.
I remember seeing that,
A week later.
Oh my gosh.
So I'd say that's a horror story.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Everything since then's been quite... Because, I feel like my trajectory is going up. And obviously, my main goal, I want to do Chris Brown.
Yeah.
I've done everything now.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I've done Super Bowl. I've done it all. Mary, I did Camila's tour. Turned down 2 tours. That's a funny story, actually. Machine Gun Kelly, I was meant to go on his tour. 2 suitcases packed, day before rehearsal. Get a phone call, change of direction. I'm already in a different state, waiting. They have to fly me back. This is what they don't tell you about the industry. Nothing's promised. Nothing is promised. It's like, that's 90 grand gone. It was a world tour over a year and a half. Just gone like that within a day.
So what did you do? Pick yourself up?
Got back on the plane to LA. Just moved on to the next.
How long was it before you actually...
your
next job?
Months. If I'm being honest, since that point, it's weird. Like I say, it comes in, ups and downs. And it's like, since I've paid for my second visa, it's just been doing this. If I'm being honest, it's like, I was booked on Machine Gun Kelly's tour, cancels. Then I come back and it's like, it's a dry spell. Then I got to the final of Jason Derulo's tour, got told I was booked. Then 2 weeks later, chose to go a different route. Then this tour that Peso is on tour again, I actually chose to turn this one down, but originally I weren't booked on that because he went for new people.
Right.
And then he realised, you know what, okay, I want to use you. And then I was like, I'm actually going to turn it down this time for a what if. But again, it's my dream. So it's like...
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to sacrifice, this and... This is going to come back tenfold.
Yeah,
always.
And is it all about money?
No, of course it's not. The only reason I say that is just because of where I'm living and obviously I have certain financial goals I want to hit.
Yeah.
But like you say, I do it because I love it. I do it for free.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's true passion there.
Yeah, I do it for free. It's
Yeah.
just like you say, it is my job at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, so
How long do you reckon you can go for in the industry?
depends how long you look after your body. Like I know people that are in the 40s that are still doing it, but for me personally, I don't want to be doing it that long. I want to, again, once I've done my last thing, I've got one more thing to do.
Right. What is it?
To tour with Chris Brown.
Right. That's it.
It's the last thing I've got to do that I've not done. And as soon as I do that, I can move on.
Does Chris know that?
He doesn't know it personally, but his team know. And again, a lot of my friends are past Chris Brown dancers, and a lot of people that are in my corner, that they know what I want, and they advise me to keep going for it. So
That's interesting you say that. You know, you got your team. How supportive are people, you know, within the industry for you?
You're just a number in this industry.
Oh,
Yeah. You're a number. And that's, again, why I go back to knowing who you are 100%, because I know I can't be replaced. So if you want to replace me, that's your choice. It's like, I'm clearly not right for what you want.
Right.
As soon as something
But
is...
you actually understand that.
Yeah. It took me a while to understand it, because, again, I want to do everything.
Yeah.
But I know who I am. They can't validate who I am. I can. You know, so
it's so positive, isn't it?
yeah, you've got to be positive.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm looking and I'm seeing the little boy, you know, that was really.
I mean,
timid.
I wouldn't have said this when I was little, would I? You would have never known that this is the thing, really.
No.
But like you say, you get chucked in the deep end a lot of the time, and that's when you learn, I guess. Yeah.
One last thing before we knock off.
Yeah.
And that is, you mentioned your brother.
Yeah.
Now, you guys were tight and probably still are tight.
Even best friend. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, my little bro's my best mate.
Did you ever think that he would follow you into the industry?
Yes. He's destined for it just as much as I am. 100%.
That's the day I want to see. I've got to be honest with you. The pair of you actually like busted it together.
Well, it's funny because obviously him and my cousin have worked jobs together.
Oh, him and Elliot?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But when I left, a month after I left, that's when Colby did his first job, and it was with the team I would work with here. So I probably would have been on it with him if I was here.
Yeah,
it's just timing, and that's the key thing, timing.
Has he been out with you?
Yeah, he's been to LA twice now, and everyone there loves him. Choreographers, everyone. He's going to do well.
He's got a certain look about him, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. He gives me model vibes. I'd love for him to model as well. But I think he's, like you say, he's a lot of the time it's easily done. He's compared to me because I'm his big brother, you know.
Right.
And I get it, but he's also his own person as well. And I think the second he finds out who he is as a human as well, that's when he'll do that. And he's, you know what I mean? I've been gone 3 years now, so he's already building it for himself as it is.
Good man.
But we'll be doing something together one day. I know we will. Yeah, that's a dream. Obviously, Chris Brown, yeah, but if I'm on it with my little brother, yeah, that's me done.
Amazing. Look, we are very, very close to finishing on the hour. It's been amazing talking to you.
I feel like we've not covered everything, but
There's
you know
not.
what I mean?
You know, I mean, do you know
There's not enough time in.
No, but I mean, what we can do is let's just keep in contact with you. Let's make this real. Keep in contact, yeah. I'm going to come and see you.
Yeah,
I'm going to come out and I'm going to video you.
I would love that.
I'm serious.
No, I would love
I'm
it.
coming. Yeah. And then what we can do is let's meet up with your crew.
Yeah.
You know, because you mentioned, very briefly, you know, you are the only white guy in a black crew.
I wouldn't say black. It's more so within. So in the industry, there's camps, right? So like, let's say Usher, they have their camp.
Yeah.
Chris Brown have their camp. Christina Aguilera, she has her camp.
So you're in a camp.
It's camps, and as a dancer,
My
you know,
apologies,
you jump to in between them all, and a lot of the time, because a lot of the artists in America are black artists.
Yeah.
You know, the black rappers or
the
I don't know, Mexican or whatever. It's a lot of the time they want to use people from their own culture, and I also understand that. It's like because you want to portray it.
Yeah.
portray who you are. Again, it goes back to the brand. That's their brand.
Yeah.
And I get it. And it's like, I've been lucky enough to be in these camps. And obviously, I'm just the only white person. Because, I don't know, I guess the way I dance ain't...
Well, you've obviously got something that, really resonates with them, isn't it?
And that's what I've built my brand on. I want to be in these spaces that I shouldn't necessarily be in.
Kailum.
That's what makes me different, I guess.
Kailum, I've got to say, man, we're out of time, but thank you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks
I've
for
been waiting
having
to
me.
get hold of you.
We finally made it happen.
We got it.
Jesus.
Guy, all the best with all the dancing and everything. Keep in contact.
Yeah, I'm always here. Always on the other end. I'm crap, I guess, on my phone, but hey, I'm here.
Take care, man.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Being bullied, messing up big time on your first gig, wrecking your career in the UK, pursuing a career in the US, living a rockstar lifestyle. I think we can say the boys made it. Up next is Ben Millen, a guy with a dream of becoming a props maker for the film and TV world. That's next on Backstage Goss.